I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win, apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, apply myself.
Hey, welcome to Zero Sports Talk. We give zero Fs. Now, today I'm recapping the Super Bowl, and honestly, I'm going to say, first of all, wasn't your boy right? Last episode, talking about football, I picked the Seahawks to win, and I said that Seahawks defense is for real. The Patriots, their defense was great. It did what it had to do, honestly, forcing Seattle a bunch of field goals. But Seattle proved they have a formidable defense, holding the Pats to 0 points. 0 points through 3 quarters. Now, after seeing that, the game was pretty much over. So I don't care what happened in the fourth. They could have punted the rest of the game. It did not matter because, obviously, Drake May ended up throwing 2 picks, 1 return for a touchdown. It was not good. The halftime show, everyone's saying, was the best thing about the Super Bowl. And honestly, some people always complain about offensive showdowns and how no one plays defense, whether it's in the NBA or the NFL. Now, you have 2 good teams playing defensive football, and people are calling it boring. I'm telling you, we're in an era where we're spoiled, where we got Patrick Mahomes throwing for 500 yards as a young player, Joe Burrow lighting it up, and Lamar Jackson running and throwing. And people still aren't happy, man. They're going to find some way to complain. But this game just proved what I knew all along. You know what? That's not even fair. What a lot of people already knew, like the media, fans, a lot of people said the same thing about this game. The Patriots are schedule merchants. It's sad to say that the Patriots had to find out in the last game of the season, the biggest game of the season. But their defense was good, carried them throughout the playoffs, won a 10-7 game in the AFC Championship game. But the real Super Bowl was Seattle versus the Rams. And I know I sound biased saying that, but if the Rams played them as well, they would have won. And of course, the Rams secondary is bad compared to Seattle. Seattle's defense is way better overall. But some of the plays that Drake May did, you can just spare me the whole O-line. Oh my God, he was getting pressured all the time. There was time where he had time in the pocket, couldn't find anyone, looked hesitant to throw. And when he did, it was just off target. There was plenty of plays. One that stands out, I think it was the throw to Hunter Henry. Everyone's highlighting on X. Absolutely abysmal. But man, you can't hide the name. You cannot hide it. It's Drake the Schedule May now. He has one of the best nicknames in the NFL, the Schedule. But again, I'm going to go back to what people are talking about with Drake May. It's all about how the O-line didn't protect him, how he has all this. That's fine and good, but he was second in MVP for a reason. Like, he had the same O-line all year. I don't know why all of a sudden it's an excuse, because when Herbert was getting flamed for getting that one MVP vote, because the person that voted for him, I think it was like Sam Monsters, I'm probably botching the name. He said with Herbert dealing with all those injuries, he still carried that team to 11 wins and the playoffs. Drake May, you were second in MVP. You have a way better O line than what Justin Herbert had to deal with, and people are gonna use that as an excuse to like, oh, Drake May, you were under pressure. It's fine. He didn't really struggle. His team just let him down. Can't agree with that. Can't agree with that. But I will say, Will Campbell is horrendous. He's horrendous. He's not gonna escape blame. He definitely is not. False started and then and then got blown up. Almost got Drake May executed at that point in the game. I will say he I don't know if it's replacing him. He's still young. Drake May is still young, but that side of the line, that one player is not the answer for the Patriots. But on to Seattle. Let's talk more about them. I want to credit Mike McDonald because he did something that Ben Johnson probably would have never done. Settle for a field goal. Like, I've been saying it, the Patriots offense, especially with a young quarterback, isn't going to be able to handle this defense. And the fact that you settle for field goals proved that Mike McDonald, who is a defensive coach, had full confidence in his defense to make stop. And it started from the first drive where they were driving down the field. It looked like the Patriots couldn't stop them at some point. And then they got to fourth down, and you're like, oh, do they go for it? No, just kick the field goal. Let's see how this game plays out. Let's see if May can handle the pressure, which he couldn't. And also, they ran the ball. Now, shout out to like Seahawks fans who were saying, thank God Zach Charbonnet wasn't playing for some reason. I guess they really don't like when Charbonnet takes touches away from K9. But shout out to K9. Rarely used. Seems like he should have been used more. And unlike Marshawn Lynch in the previous Super Bowl with the Pats and the Seahawks, Mike McDaniel had full confidence in him. So shout out to him, Super Bowl MVP. But also the highlight of this game, it had to be like all the missed passes that Drake May had throughout the three quarters. Now, people are going to talk about the 235 yards he had in the fourth, most yards. Well, it's all garbage time stats. No one really cares. But Sam Darnold really deserves credit because here's his stats. And it's not anything that's going to blow you away, but he was 19 of 38, 202 yards and a touchdown. That's all you need to do in this game. That's all you need to do. Just settle for the quick passes, easy plays, but do not turn the ball over. Like, one of the things that hurt Denver in the AFC Championship, because I felt they had control of that game before the snow and everything. They had full control of that game. And then Stidham with the worst fumble you will ever see, no doubt about it, gave the momentum back to the Patriots. They got back in the game, and it was downhill from there. Sam Darnold, we all know the reputation. We all know big games. He's not really that guy. But we need to get rid of that for at least this year because last two seasons, 31 wins. Vikings are struggling right now, dealing with the fact that they let go of a Super Bowl champion. But Kenneth Walker was the Super Bowl MVP with 27 carries, 135 yards, no touchdowns. But I don't think him having no touchdowns says what this game was. That's why looking at stats is not as important as watching the actual game because he set the tone. He ran the ball. He got him tough yardage. I don't care if it was 5 or 4 yards. He got him positive yardage, and that's all they need to kill the clock. Do everything you can to keep the ball out of Drake May's hands and put this defense, which I'll give them credit. The Pats defense is amazing. It's great. Mike Vrabel did a great job. Christian Gonzalez balled out. If he doesn't look like the best corner in the league after this game, I don't know who is, because he balled. Give him all the credit. Say the Patriots pulled this off, it would have had to be defensive touchdowns or special teams touchdowns because Drake May was not giving them a comeback. And if they did have a defensive touchdown, give Christian Gonzalez Super Bowl MVP for laying it all on the field. But Matt Collins was their leading receiver, which 478 and a touchdown. That's saying a lot because that means Drake May. A lot of the people are saying he doesn't have Stafford's weapons, and that's why he won. Stafford won MVP and all that. He does have his tight ends. He has great tight ends. He has two good running backs. I don't care what anyone says; they're really good running backs. Where were the tight ends in this game plan? Where was the 13 personnel? Hunter Henry and all them. I know he missed one really bad, egregious pass that I can't get out of my memory because he was wide open and he completely overthrew the ball. But those are your receivers. Those are your best players on the receiving end of the ball. Weren't part of the game plan at all. He kept trying to go deep for some reason in the fourth when he didn't have to. I think there was like 4 minutes left when he threw that pick to Julian Love. And again, you blame it on him being young. You blame it on his not trusting his offensive line. That's fine. You're still technically in the game. Probably slim to no chance. Take the easy throws. Stop all this hero ball. Stop chucking it up. Yes, you don't trust your offensive line. That doesn't mean you have to go deep. So spare me the conversations about him being robbed for MVP. The schedule was definitely a factor in his success. But Patriots fans, I'll give you this. You have a chance to shut everybody up. Everybody that's talked on you, you got a chance to shut them up because next year you get a first place schedule. That's going to say a lot if you are that team. And honestly, you don't even have to go back to the Super Bowl. Just be a top 2 seed. Win the division again. How about that? Because Josh Allen's getting a new coach. Miami got a new coach. And the Jets are the Jets. Win the division, get a top 2 seed. Prove that, hey, this year wasn't a fluke. Just like Sam Darnold did with the Vikings. After he left, he proved that wasn't a fluke, which everyone thought it was. He went on to win. Now, I'm going to stop the football talk for 1 second because I do want to talk about controversial halftime show, I guess people are talking about. I don't think it was controversial. But let's talk about the hating of the halftime show for the last few years. It's been Bad Bunny, it's been Kendrick Lamar, even back when 50 Cent and Eminem and all that. I genuinely want to ask the audience, what do you guys want to watch? I want to see, because I bet you it's going to go from rock to hip hop to pop to Spanish. Hey, there might even be people talking about, I want, what was the Japanese pop band, Korean pop band, or a Japanese pop band. I don't understand why people are throwing hate to a Puerto Rican artist for accepting a deal to be a halftime performer in the Super Bowl. That is unheard of. Never happened. There was Shakira one time, but she can speak English. Well, she can sing songs in English. I'm not saying she can't speak Spanish or anything. But Bad Bunny is the most streamed artist in the world, not the US, in the world. For them to still, I seen people watching videos or talking about some American halftime show with Trump or something. I don't know. Who decides to watch Kid Rock over Bad Bunny? I don't care how much you hate Bad Bunny. Kid Rock is your alternate. Man, I listen to a lot of music, and I've listened from as a kid. I'll even say Linkin Park, AC/DC, 50 Cent, Eminem, Bad Bunny, Aventura, all those bands. I've crossed genres. I even listen to jazz. I listen to Indian music. I listen to Japanese music. Never once in my life, in my 30 years of living, have I ever said, put that Kid Rock on. I've never even thought about that. And I'm a guy that grew up on shows like Jackass and Bam Margera and all these intense, crazy daredevil shows that play these rock songs and all that. And I still can't tell you a Kid Rock song. So the fact that people are going that far just because they don't like Bad Bunny or what he says about the country or his politics is crazy because this halftime show blew out last year's halftime show by a lot. And I love Kendrick, but Bad Bunny, he did his thing on that stage. All right. That's all I got to say about the halftime show. Let's get back to the game. So, like I said, Sam Darnold was 19 of 38, 202 yards and a touchdown. JSN no showed, and as much as I say that's not really his fault because I don't think the game plan was to throw it after the first two drives. Christian Gonzalez played well on him too, so I'm not gonna crucify JSN for only having 4 catches and 27 yards. That seems unfair because they were running that ball. They weren't trying to throw it. AJ Barner though, 6 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Crazy to me when I saw this that Seattle used their tight ends more than Drake May did. And then the running backs, obviously you got the Super Bowl MVP. I mentioned it earlier, 27 carries, 135 yards. Trey Henderson, 6 carries, 19 yards. Mondre Stevenson, 7 for 23. I guess the Patriots were trying to establish the run, but just didn't work. I mean, if you have Drake May throwing the ball the way he was throwing it in that Super Bowl, I would stack the box too. So, you got to feel bad for that. So I'm going to talk about the future and what it looks like. This was the best season for a lot of teams. The Caleb Williams and the Bears, Jordan Love and the Packers, the Eagles trying to make a comeback and go back to back. Why? Because no Patrick Mahomes, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson. The AFC was wide open for anyone to take. And it looked wide open for most of the year until, injuries happened. You had injuries to the entire Chargers team. You had injuries to Bo Nix. And Patriots just ran the table and got lucky, played a few snow games, whatever. The future doesn't look that bright in the AFC. If this is the best that they can put out, like the best you could put out is CJ Stroud, who is now the face of mid. I don't know what to tell you because in the NFC, CJ Stroud, you can compare him to JJ McCarthy at this point. As bad as that sounds, you can. In the NFC, JJ McCarthy isn't sniffing a playoff game. In the AFC, CJ Stroud is still probably a top 10 QB in the AFC. I think the NFC is going to dominate again next year because the 49ers are just going to get healthier. The Rams, they always make moves in the offseason. They always do something. Last year, it was getting Devontae Adams. They always do something to improve the team to get closer to the Super Bowl once again, especially with Matthew Stafford announcing he's coming back. Then you got, obviously, the defending champs, the Seahawks. You got the Lions. This might be just a one-down year for the Lions. And honestly, I believe that, because I mentioned the Lions, this came to my mind. Someone in the NFC is going to ask for Max Crosby and is going to get him. Someone is either going to be the Lions. It might be, should I say Dallas? Maybe Dallas. Dallas. It might be the Bucks. It might be anyone. Someone's going to get Max Crosby into the NFC. And that team's just going to be 100% better. Speaking of, you got the Bucks. They're going to bounce back. They said that Baker was injured for most of the year, so we'll see if he can stay healthy next year. 3 teams in the NFC East that I believe are going to be fighting for playoff contention is the Cowboys, is the Eagles, is the Commanders. And then you got like a little black sheep, a little underdog in the Giants as well with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterboo. Maybe he could get healthy. Malik Neighbors, maybe he can get healthy. I think the Super Bowl is going to run through the NFC at least, I don't know, let's say for the next 5 years. If things don't change on the AFC side, especially with the quarterbacks, if the quarterbacks don't improve. Daniel Jones was the best quarterback in the AFC for 11 weeks. No competition. Daniel Jones was one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFC was the best quarterback of the AFC for 11 weeks until that injury, until their season ended. The NFC, mind you, no one can decide who's the best top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC right now. I've seen the most ridiculous lists. No disrespect. I've seen lists that had Caleb Williams at number 5 and number 3 and number 2. And he's great, but he's not the second best quarterback in the NFC. That's crazy to say. So, all in all, to recap, to finish off this episode, I want to say the best team in this year in the NFC won't be back, but the best team in the AFC definitely will not be back. Because if Patrick Mahomes is healthy, if Joe Burrow, I hate saying this about the Bengals, but they can never figure it out, but Joe Burrow can carry a team anywhere. And Lamar Jackson, I feel like the change, the organization, the new coach is going to help him 100%. He's going to be back in the playoffs. The Steelers aren't going nowhere. They're probably going to be out of the playoffs. The Browns aren't going to not do anything like they always do. The Jags, maybe Trevor Lawrence can take that leap. CJ Stroud showed who he was. Justin Herbert showed who he was. Raiders are picking number 1. Dolphins are the Dolphins. Jets are the Jets. Patrick Mahomes is going to be back in the Super Bowl. That's all I'm going to say. When I really think about it, Patrick Mahomes is going back to the Super Bowl next year. I don't see anyone besides the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs fighting for that AFC conference for another 2 or 3 years, while the NFC is going to be a dogfight every year. And because they're fighting amongst each other, I think that's what made Seattle stronger this year. And I think that's what's going to make whoever wins the NFC next year that much better. So that's all I got for today. Heck of a Super Bowl, I will say that. Boring, most people say, but I enjoyed it. Great defensive battle. We got to see a young quarterback. We got to see a veteran that was given up on in Sam Darnold show what he can do, show that organization matters. That's important. He needs to go to an organization that matters. There's a lot of QBs that are going to need a new home next year. And next time I'll talk about who might be the next Sam Darnold. But other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching and have a good one.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.